I'm talking, I'm keeled over in pain. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So this week I want to talk to you guys about the surgery I'm going in for, why I'm getting it, what I think is going to come of it, and where this journey might lead. So as of you guys watching this video, I should have had the surgery yesterday. I am home so I can get the surgery and recover and all of that. So let's just jump into what all of this is about. So why am I getting surgery? I am going in to get a scope surgery for diagnostic purposes for endometriosis. Endometriosis is a condition in which endometrium-like tissue grows outside of the uterus, and it affects 1 in 10 women. Unfortunately, a lot of women don't even know that this is a possibility, and so you miss out on it a lot. And so that's why I wanted to make this video, because when I started hearing about endometriosis, I started researching and I looked up things online, but also like YouTube videos, because I wanted to see what people who dealt with it were experiencing. So the only way to diagnose endometriosis is through surgery. You can't get a blood test. It can't be confirmed through scans or anything like that. So I went into a specialist recently, and he agreed that it sounds like what I could be dealing with is endometriosis. So he's going to perform a surgery on me next week for me, yesterday for you guys. And that will basically allow him to see if I have the tissue growing in places it shouldn't be, which is what's causing my symptoms. So as of right now, I'm not 100% sure if that is what I'm dealing with. Either the surgery is going to be a diagnosis or an indication that we still need to keep looking into what's causing my symptoms. But I wanted to talk about this and kind of have this dialogue about women's health and, figuring out what's going on. I have a laundry list of symptoms. There's a lot going on, but I will share what's the most common in the top of my mind and some general symptoms that are related to endometriosis, because even if I end up not having it from the surgery, if you clicked on this, you're interested in the topic. So for anybody else who's curious. So the most significant symptom that I kind of correlate with all of this is that I have had really, really painful periods, and they've gotten increasingly more painful throughout my life. So I'm talking, I'm keeled over in pain, medications wear off incredibly quickly, I can't hold the ibuprofen or Midol, like they don't stay in my system long enough to really make much of a difference. When they do stay in my system, it lowers, but it doesn't really fully cover the pain, and it's just really, really bad. The pain differs. It's different kinds of pain in different spaces. I do notice that when my pain is at its worst, I can actually see right at like the bottom of my stomach, I can see my uterus pulse, and I can feel it pulse if I place my hand there. That's how kind of intense, I guess, it becomes. And so that's what really got me to a point where I was ready to go see a specialist, because the pain was getting worse and worse. I also noticed that I have to continuously switch birth controls because I'm on birth control to manage another condition I have, PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder, as well as managing some of the pain of the period. So I was having to switch those frequently because my body would like get used to them, and then I would not work anymore and I'd have to go to a new one. So with all of that happening, I was like, okay, I need to really figure out what's going on. I can't keep living like this. The next thing was that I do get fairly heavy periods, which can be common. I will have periods that definitely go on the longer side. I don't think it would take more than 2 hands to count the number of times in my entire life that my period has been less than 5 days. Usually it's 5 to 7, mostly 7, and a couple times it's been longer than 7 days. So that's another indication. And I have since learned, since going to the doctor, learned that another woman in my family has had endometriosis. So there's a family history for me, at least accurately documented family history. I would sometimes have cramping that would be brought on by things like working out or, any of those kinds of things, which seemed abnormal. And so there's more, but honestly, I'm missing some of it, so apologies for that. Some just general common symptoms are pains during sex, pains during bowel movements, because the endometriosis can actually grow on the bowel as well, and so that can cause pain there, and all those kinds of things. You can also, in more rare cases, endometriosis can get in the lungs, and you can actually experience like these periods in your lungs every month. And so some women will discuss coughing up blood. I've experienced nosebleeds during my period, so we're looking into if that could be related at all. So that's kind of a light overview of where I'm at. This is a very basic intro to all of this because I'm starting on this journey myself. I want to kind of discuss how I've gotten to this point where I'm at, what I know so far, and if this continues to be the journey I'm on, I'm thinking maybe I'll make a series out of it to continue kind of looking through my journey and documenting it, so you have the opportunity to see what this looks like in real life. So for me, I would go to gynecologist appointments, and I would mention that I was having these things, that I'd heard about endometriosis. Could this be what I'm dealing with? And my gynecologist really didn't have a lot of answers for me. So I kind of just let it go. Research does show that women wait on average, I believe it's 7 to 10 years to receive a diagnosis of endometriosis, because it's just one of those things where it's hard to really get that diagnosis, especially with, a lot of times women's symptoms, especially in this area, can be dismissed and things like that. So I brought it up a few times over the years and not really had much response to it, so kind of put it on the back burner. And eventually I got to the point where I was in so much pain, and when I talked to people about my periods, I overwhelmingly got the response, "Do you have endometriosis?" So I decided, you know what, I'm going to find a specialist and just go talk to them. So I went ahead and did that. For me personally, when I go to doctors, I try to write down everything I need to talk about, just so I make sure I get to everything. So that's what I did. I wrote down all the symptoms and everything that could have maybe been related, because I don't know, and discussed all of that with the doctor. He asked some questions, and I explained that I had not received any official diagnosis or anything like that. I just wanted to talk to him to see if this was a path worth pursuing and looking further into, and he told me, yeah, we should do surgery. So I took that as a sign that he thinks that this is a likely cause. And I had to wait because with COVID, they were not scheduling any elective surgeries. So I had to wait a while. It's been a couple months now, and I was just able to schedule that surgery. So now I'll kind of talk a little bit about the surgery itself. Again, I haven't had it yet, so again, very limited information here. What I do know is that he will put 2 incisions in my abdomen area, and he'll put cameras through and basically look around and see what it looks like in there. And if there's anything he can cut or burn, he will. If not, then I guess not. And it's a very minimally invasive surgery. I'll rest for a few days, and then I should be good to go, which is great. It's a very, very minimal surgery, which is very convenient. After that, he will let me know if it looks like that's what I'm experiencing, and from there we will go into ways to treat. From my understanding, there is no cure for endometriosis, but there are treatments. So that's where I'm at for now. I want to just leave this as a bit of an intro and take you on this journey with me. I don't want to pretend like I know more than I do. So if this was helpful at all, let me know. If you have questions, I can try to answer. And if you want to see this as a series and see my journey of dealing with whatever it is that's going on, whether it's endometriosis or not, let me know in the comments. I would really like to know your input. So I will see you guys next week. Hopefully I'll be feeling good and won't have to worry about filming. And yeah, so I'll see you next week. Bye.